So our next guest is not only a good friend of The Social, she's also a public speaking coach that is dedicated to helping young people unapologetically tap into what she calls their ultimate superpower, their voice.
Here with some fabulous tips to help kids find their voice is the founder of Slay the Mic Jr., the one and only Jim Gamble. We're so excited to have you here today. This is your expertise. So talk about why you feel so passionate, in particular about helping kids to learn to use their voice.
I could talk about this for hours. I was the kid who got into so much trouble for talking. Every report card, every parent-teacher interview, I got into so much trouble. And I know what that did to me when I didn't know when was the right time to use my voice. Am I saying things right? Are my teachers okay with it? Are my parents okay with it? So I'm on a mission to help children tap into their ultimate superpower because I'm done with kids thinking that they could only be seen and not heard. They should be seen and heard. Kids are our future, right? And so it's really important for kids from now, not the adults that I'm coaching, but from now to learn the power of their voice and to use it in every area of their life.
Oh, you are speaking to two moms right now who are going to just soak up every word.
Yes.
Why do you think that some kids are having real challenges speaking up and using their voice?
That's a great question. I could think of 10,000 reasons, but the three that I've seen in my practice is one, again, it goes back to waiting for permission. Is now time for me to talk? Can I share now? Okay. The second reason is something happened. And so I see that a lot in my coaching practice with adults where they could think back to that school presentation, feedback they got from their teacher, classmates laughing at them. It stays with them, right? Imagine like when you're talking in school, it's like doing a presentation or a performance and it doesn't go right and that sticks with you. No one's helped them unpack that. So then, because it hasn't been unpacked, they just carry that fear with them that I can never speak up again. And then the third reason is some kids are just developing their voice, right? Every child has a voice. My background is working with children with special needs, and even my friends who are nonverbal, they also have a voice. For a lot of those kids, they're just working on turning the volume up. And that requires us to be active listeners so that we ensure we're hearing their voice.
Love it.
I love that. So you say that developing this skill can be transformative. So talk about what it can do, what you've seen that it can do for a young person.
Yeah, well, think about being an adult. Think about that dream job you landed, or using your voice to set boundaries. For a kid, the minute they achieve something, it's like, well, what else can I do? What else can I say? And so for when a child gets to do a presentation and it goes well, or they use their voice on the playground to tell a bully to stop, they feel like a superhero, right? It is a transformative experience. And for me, going back to being that kid who got into so much trouble, the transformation is I'm on The Social. Right? Like, that's the transformation. And so I think of all the kids who, when they confidently and boldly use their voice, they're unstoppable, and I want them to achieve that.
Okay, so let's get into some nitty-gritty here. What are some tips that you can give to kids so they can proudly use their voice?
So the first tip I'm gonna recommend is joining the announcement club. I was a part of the school announcement club. Shout out to whatever teacher that was when I was in elementary school who saw that I was a talker and said, you know what, you gotta go on the PA system, because that helped me greatly. 2, find every opportunity you can to use your voice. So I call it like a vocal scavenger hunt, where you're like, is this a moment I can use my voice? Yeah, let's do it. And the third would be right in your classroom, read aloud. If there's an opportunity for you to read a passage, everyone's like, well, I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. Do it. Put your hand up. If you have an opportunity to choose between a written presentation or an oral, take the oral route. I had a presentation in grade 7, and I forgot I had to do a book report. And the teacher's like, well, your options are to submit it or do an oral presentation. I was like, showtime. Let's go. Oral presentation. And again, those are all moments that help me find my voice.
Okay, so that's for the kids.
Yes.
Talk to us parents.
All right.
How do we help those kids?
You lead by example. That's the first thing. And not only leading by example when your voice is strong, but being comfortable enough to be vulnerable and acknowledge today, I struggled using my voice. I messed up on TV. I had a difficult conversation. I didn't say everything I need to say. They need to see you in those moments where you can't, to know that, you know what, I know when you could do it as well. So they get that balance. Also, story time. Get back into reading those books and having that opportunity to read with them and hear how their voice is doing. And third, not least, is celebrate. every single time. And when I say every single time, not just the moments you approve, but every single moment where your child is like, I used my voice and I felt proud. And you're like, oh, you said that. Okay, and that might include saying no to hugging Uncle Bob. They don't feel like hugging Uncle Bob, and they use their voice to set a boundary. Celebrate that. They use their voice to say no to something at school that just didn't feel right. Celebrate that. They use their voice to say something that sounds so outrageous to you, but you can see the pride on their face. Celebrate that.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So good. Okay, so are there other ways for kids to communicate in the case that they don't feel like using their voice, but they do want to express their thoughts?
So the first idea, it's gonna sound a little weird, but roll with me here. When I was in college, I had to say something very sentimental to an ex-boyfriend of mine, and I wrote it on a Post-it because I couldn't use my voice. And so, so I suggest getting a pack of those colorful Post-its and writing messages. That is still a form of using your voice. You just can't let it come out here, but it could come out here and it could come out here. So you could use different color Post-its to represent different levels of emotion, level of urgency. You could pick an area in your house. Maybe it's on the fridge, maybe it's on their bedroom door. They could leave their thoughts there. The second recommendation I would say is like if a child is struggling to say, I'm feeling this way, my favorite analogy is, do you need help unpacking your backpack? So if you think about having a heavy backpack, it weighs you down. You move slowly, you look sluggish. We don't need to unpack everything. We could take out one item. It's like your backpack's looking a little heavy. Do you need help unpacking it? And maybe we just take out one item and that just feels a little bit lighter and their shoulders go up a little bit higher. And for the friends who are really into tech, you might say, do you want to do a data dump? So when you think about computers and video games, if things are lagging, you're not playing. So you're like, do you need to do a data dump? Maybe delete a couple of files? That opens up space for conversation.
I love that. Okay, you have some activities that parents can do with their kids that we're gonna try out as well.
Yes.
The first one involves using describing our voices. So how does that begin?
Yeah, well, first off, when we think about our voice, we always think about what people made us feel about our voice. You're too loud, you're too this. Things people told me, but look at me now. So going back to the affirmations, I think it's a really good opportunity to like learn how to reconnect with your voice when you recognize, I think I sound loud, bold, passionate. So with this lovely chart over here, and friends in the audience, you're more than welcome to whip out your phone and write down your own list. You can look at this and say, hey, I feel bubbly, I feel confident. For your kiddos in the morning when they're getting up and they're getting ready for school, they could pick one adjective. Today, I'm gonna sound very spicy in class and get ready for that phone call. I'm gonna sound very energetic when I'm reading story time. These are great
It's like
adjectives.
intentions as well, right?
It is
That's great.
intentions, yeah, and it's most importantly a really good opportunity to reconnect with your voice because we're tired of only thinking about how people make us feel about our voice.
I love that. Okay, so the next activity focuses on affirmation. We don't have a ton of time left, so let's get into this.
I just want you to write an affirmation that you could tell yourself every time you're getting ready to go on air. And maybe you might be saying,
I know mine. Well, no, before I go on air,
I'm gonna be loud, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna be proud of my voice.
I'm gonna be playful.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playful.
Just have fun.
Yeah. And then, when you write down that affirmation, you can practice with your little microphone.
I'm gonna play. What are you gonna do?
Oh my gosh, I was gonna go so serious.
Me too.
I was gonna go so serious.
Maybe you need to play more too.
You know what? I need to play more.
You need to play.
That's my affirmation.
We're gonna do it together. We're gonna play more.
I love this. Jam, we love having you here in this, we love having you here always, and in this capacity also, so thank you. This is really, really helpful. Thank you. Okay, audience. We're gonna have fun. And Jam actually wrote down affirmations for every single one of you. Check under your seat as we go to break, all right? Go ahead, check under your seat as we go to break. Read them, enjoy them. Someone yell one out to me. Someone yell one out to me. Today is another chance to improve. Yes, it is. Jam, thank you so, so much. We're gonna be back. Why am I still holding this? We will be back right after this. So good.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.